Today I'll be discussing the Epub e-reader and how transferring ebooks from the computer to an e-reader, how easy it can be. So what is the definition of an e-reader? So an e-reader is a handheld device on which electronic versions of books, newspapers, magazines, etc. can be read. So this differs from a tablet device like an iPad because an iPad has the capabilities of a computer. You can web browse, you can check your email. On an e-reader, it's just simply for e-reading. So what are the characteristics of an e-reader? What do you look for in order to spot that an individual, a patron, has an e-reader? So one of the questions I ask people often, whether in person or on the phone, is if their screen is black and white. The reason I ask that is because e-readers use something called e-ink technology. And when you look at the screen, it looks very much like paper or a newspaper. So it's emulating the page, the written page. One thing that e-readers also have is they oftentimes have Wi-Fi access. Now this can confuse people because although it has Wi-Fi access, you can't go to web pages and you can't install apps. The Wi-Fi access only allows you to access the store of the device you have. So for example, if you have a Nook, you can download books and access the Barnes & Noble store from your device. Another big difference of an e-reader, because it doesn't have that app capability, or speakers for that matter, is audiobooks cannot be downloaded to the device. So what are some of the Epub compatible e-readers? The first two here are Nooks. The first one is the most popular. It's a Nook Simple Touch. Notice the screen, it's black and white, looks very much like paper. To the right of that we have another Nook that's also Epub compatible. Does have that color on the bottom and that's part of the navigation. But don't let that trick you. It's still a traditional e-reader. Over here we have a Kabu, which you don't see often, but a lot of people do have, and that also requires transfer through the computer, through a USB cord. So how are library books transferred? So library ebooks are transferred through the computer. First of all, the user must have Adobe Digital Editions installed on their computer and authorized with an Adobe ID in order to download the Epub formatted ebooks or PDFs. Our services Freeding and Overdrive offer both of those formatted books, and those formats are open ebook standard files. So that's why you see them in that format so frequently. These devices that are Epub compatible do not take Kindle formatted books. Kindle e-readers are designed exclusively for the Kindle format. So what items do I need to gather before I begin this? First of all, you need a PC or Mac with Adobe Digital Editions installed and authorized with that Adobe ID. You also need an internet connection with a web browser like Google Chrome or Internet Explorer. Next, you'll need an Epub compatible e-reader like a Nook Simple Touch. You'll also need the USB cord. So here in this image that I have over to the right, you'll see that is the USB cord that goes to the Nook. And oftentimes you have to unplug the charger in order to access the USB cord. So let's begin. So please remember after watching this video that really how you learn how to do this is through practice. So if you don't have access to an e-reader at your branch or in your department, you are welcome to borrow one from Reference and Readers Advisory. Just please contact me, Rebecca Reed, at extension 637. Let's get started. First, I'm going to demonstrate how to download an Epub formatted ebook from the library's catalog Biblio Commons. Biblio Commons added a layer that directly links the Overdrive page with the library catalog. To begin, I'm going to click Login. It's important the user is logged into their account to check out an ebook from Overdrive. As you can see here under My PC is CLD Borrowing, we have a digital area. Right now I have 1 out of my 10 Overdrive books checked out. In the search box, I'm going to search for an author and actress. I'm going to search for Betty White. "34 items were found for Betty White, and the first one happens to be in ebook format. Now, if I want to narrow my search and just see ebooks by Betty White, I can go over here to my faceted search and check ebook. There's 2 books available through Overdrive by Betty White, and I know that because down below it says check availability. Now, it used to say click here to access this book, but when we added the Overdrive layer, when I click check availability, it tells me that one copy is available of Betty and Friends. Same here, this is also an Overdrive book because it says check availability. Now, if you see a book that says online, that means it's from our other service, Freeding. So now that there's one copy available, I'm going to go ahead and click on the title of the book. I can also click right here and directly check out, but I'm going to demonstrate this so you see the 2 different ways you can download the book. So over here, I can click request this download. A pop-up will appear that will have me select which format I'd like to read. So we're on our computer. We have Adobe Digital Editions installed and authorized with an Adobe ID, and I have a Nook Simple Touch to transfer the book to. So I'm going to select Adobe Epub and check out. You'll see up at the top I had a pop-up come up that says download in Adobe Epub format. I can also go over here and select download now. It will give me the files. I'm going to go ahead and click here, and very quickly the files have dropped to the bottom of my web browser. Now, depending on your web browser, they may appear at the top or the bottom. In this case, it's at the bottom, and I'm going to select open. Adobe Digital Editions is set up, at least mine is, to automatically open when I open up this book. The download for the book is fulfilling, and in a moment it will appear in a readable format. So now Betty and Friends, My Life at the Zoo has been downloaded. I have the option to read this here in Adobe Digital Editions. It's downloaded to my computer. But up here in the top left-hand corner, I can go to Library View. I also have another book checked out by James Patterson here on my bookshelf. Now I'm going to plug in my USB cord into my USB port and then take the other end and plug in my micro USB side to my Nook. My computer has recognized my Nook is here. Just like a flash drive, it's opened up in my File Explorer. I'm going to close out of that. And you can see in Adobe Digital Editions, my Nook has been recognized by the software. Next, I'm going to transfer Betty and Friends to my Nook Simple Touch. I'm going to left click on Betty and Friends, hold down my left click, and then drag and drop my book into the Nook. So you see when it becomes that green plus sign, it's ready to be dropped. The book is now copying to my device. So when I select my Nook, here is Betty and Friends on my device. Now to return my book, I'm going to return to Bookshelves, say I'm done reading it. I can right click on my book and then left click and select Return Borrowed Items. This will return it to the library, and that also frees up another one of my 10 checkouts through Overdrive. If a book has expired, you can right click on it, and instead of returning the borrowed item, the files have already expired, you can't return it. You will just simply remove it from the library. This book, though, Merry Christmas, Alex Cross, is still checked out to me. I have 13 days. So I'm going to select Return Borrowed Item. Now, what about the files that are on my Nook? If I click on my Nook here, I can see that this is still on my device. Now, it's important every once in a while when you return a book through Adobe Digital Editions, you also want to remove the file from your device. So I'm in my Nook. I'm going to right-click here. I'm not going to return it. I've already done that. So I'm going to select Remove from Library. Now the book and the files are off of my Nook. Next, I'm going to demonstrate how to download an Epub formatted ebook directly from the Overdrive page. Now, there's a couple ways to get to the Overdrive page. On the main website, pueblolibrary.org, I can go up here to search and scroll down to downloadables. Down here, we have all of our downloadable services broken up into categories. I can left click on Overdrive and it will redirect me to downloadables.pueblolibrary.org. You can also have patrons type in that link. You can also have patrons type in that web address directly in their web address bar here. I'm signed into the account, and I'm going to look at the books here on the new books. So if it's black in the corner, that means there are copies available for checkout. If I click View More on the new books, you'll see that many books have a grayed out book in the top right hand corner. That means you can place a hold on the book. All of the copies are currently checked out. I'm going to check out this book, The Secret Diary of Lizzie Bennet. If I hover my mouse over the cover, I can click Borrow and directly borrow the book. For my purposes, I'm going to click on More. You'll see here that when I click on More, it tells me which formats the book is available in. Now, most books on Overdrive are available in Adobe Epub format. However, there's rare cases where a book is only available in Kindle book format. So now that I know there's a format that is compatible with my device, I'm going to select Borrow. The book is now being checked out to me, but I still have to download it. Here I'm going to hit Download and select Adobe Epub ebook. Then Confirm and Download. Just like in Biblio Commons, the file of the book dropped onto my web browser, and then I select Open. The book has downloaded and it's now in a readable format on my Adobe Digital Editions. To transfer that book, I'm going to do just like I did before and go to Library View. My Nook has been plugged in, and on Adobe Digital Editions, it's recognized my device. I'm going to hold down my left click on the book, drag it over to my Nook until it becomes a green plus sign, and then release. The book has now copied to my Nook, so if I click on my Nook device to see what materials are on it, right there is The Secret Diary of Lizzie Bennet. Now, to properly eject my Nook, I'm going to go down here to my taskbar and hover over here where my tray is. There's this little arrow to show hidden icons. Just like I do with a USB thumb drive or flash drive, I'm going to safely eject my hardware and eject my Nook. Now I can unplug it. When I unplug my Nook and slide it open and unlock it, there is The Secret Diary of Lizzie Bennet It's the first book in my library. Now remember, to return my book, I'm in All Items on my bookshelf. I'm right-clicking on my book and selecting Return Borrowed Item and return. Thank you for attending this training. Remember, if you have any questions or you'd like to practice downloading and transferring books to Nook Simple Touches, please contact Becca Reed at extension 637. Thanks.